Thanks. Good to be here.
Sarah.
Indeed we do, Charles. Thank you. Well, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed this morning, putting even more strain on the global fuel supply. To discuss energy and resources expert at QUT, Professor Robert Perrons joins us live now in Brisbane. Professor, thanks for your time. So, as we're going to where we've just learned of an escalation in the Strait, an Iranian-flagged cargo ship apparently trying to break the US blockade before the US Navy then fired. It seems to be getting uglier.
Yes, it does. But I think that we probably need to think about what's happening with the prices and how it's going to impact Australia. We probably need to pull this apart into the short term and the longer term. In the short term, it's obviously very important to us how the tankers are allowed to proceed and will the boats start moving again through the Strait of Hormuz. But in the longer term, there's also significant infrastructural damage. Those missiles that have been raining all over the Middle East, those exploding drones, it turns out that they were very effective, and they've created a significant amount of damage to the infrastructure in the area in places like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, et cetera. So even if it all got sorted out very, very quickly with the short-term geopolitical skirmishes in the Middle East there, we've still got many months and indeed possibly years of cleaning up to do.
Well, that is bleak indeed. So let's break it down. Let's look at the short term first and then the long term. Let's just say with this reopening of the Strait, obviously on the weekend, being short-lived, the yo-yoing now just continues, this uncertainty. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, let alone the next couple of hours. This closure, this US blockade, surely that's just exacerbating the fuel situation for us all, right? I mean, who is worse off here, Iran or the rest of the world?
Look, I don't think that this is this fight isn't just about oil prices. I think that there's bigger principles at stake here. Both sides, you know, they're motivated by other things. So I don't think that that's what's going to decide what happens next. What I do see happening, though, is you know, there seems to be some flexing going on, especially on the part of the Iranians. They're basically saying, no, you're not unilaterally controlling this, U.S. This is our backyard. We have home court advantage, and you're out of your mind if you think you're driving this.
To what end, though?
Look, I think that they can play the long game. They have been preparing for this kind of scenario for a very long time. They've clearly got the defensive capabilities. They've got the manufacturing capacity for more of those drones. They've been digging in for a long time expecting something like this. It would be a mistake to underestimate their resolve or how long they're willing to hold their breath.
All right, well, let's look at that lag time then, because as you said, you know, as we know, if the war was to end tomorrow, we're still in a vulnerable position, right? I mean, in terms of normalising fuel prices. But just how long will that take to catch up? And then obviously all those infrastructure issues that you mentioned as well.
Right. So back to the infrastructure thing. So it'll take at least a few months to kind of repair many of the assets that have been damaged in the Middle East. But there are some assets that have been very seriously damaged. The liquefied natural gas, the LNG trains in Qatar, for example, we're hearing estimates it'll take between 2 and 5 years to get those completely back online. But in terms of what impact that has on the prices for petrol and diesel, if everything stopped right now, it would probably take the better part of 6 months for prices to go back to where they were before this all began.
The flow-on effects continue. Professor, thanks so much for your insight this morning.
Thanks for having me.